top 10 starting pitchers of the 2025 season. Who actually pitched the best last year by our own calculations. We're not just going off WAR or something like that. We built our own list here. And we're going to start this off actually with a tie, and we're going to let you guys in the comments decide this. This is the only time we've done a tie. We genuinely could not decide which way to go with it. So we're going to leave it up to you guys. And actually, more specifically, we're going to leave it up to Phillies fans. So we have two guys, and one of them is going to get the number 10 spot, and one of them is going to get the number 11 spot and miss the list for performance in the 2025 season. And it is Jesus Luzardo and Zack Wheeler, who was actually the 10th best starting pitcher of the 2025 season. Now, it really comes down, I think, to what do you value. Wheeler was better when he was on the field, but with the injury, he only pitched 150 innings. Luzardo was available for the entirety of the year, pretty much, but he had a 3.9 ERA, which isn't the greatest compared to Wheeler's 2.7 ERA. But when you start looking at more underlying metrics and stuff, you start to find Luzardo wasn't really helped out by his defense. He got a little unlucky. His FIP was actually very good. He had some very dominant outings. He had some outings where he got beat up a little bit. And so Luzardo actually had the lower FIP than what Wheeler had. He also came away with more counting stats just by being on the field more. So right, with a thing like WAR, he stacked up more value on the year than what Wheeler was able to stack up. He also had more quality starts. He had more strikeouts than Wheeler. But at the same time, something like Baseball Savant's run value still said Wheeler had the better year. Let us know down in the comments who you think had the better year in 2025. Now, the number 9 starting pitcher of the 2025 season was Bryan Woo. Kind of the opposite of Luzardo, right? Luzardo had a really high WAR. Bryan Woo has a really low WAR compared to the other guys on this list. But his run value on Baseball Savant was actually 4th highest among the starters we compared for this list, which is interesting kind of how those two stats, WAR and run value, should really be about the same, in my opinion, considering what they're trying to measure. But you'll see throughout this list, with a pitcher like Luzardo, WAR likes way more, and with a pitcher like Woo, Baseball Savant's run value likes way more. So the two stats do not agree at all. It's kind of interesting. But to get back into Bryan Woo, who we're really supposed to be talking about here, he had 21 quality starts and 198 strikeouts, along with a .93 whip. I always like it when a whip is below 1, and that is what Bryan Woo had this year, so he was the number 9 starter on our list. Number 8 starter of the 2025 season was Max Fried of the New York Yankees. He had a 2.8 ERA, which is 6th on this list. He had 4.8 WAR, which is 7th on this list. He also had 195 innings, not the most strikeouts, and a 1.1 whip, which is a tad bit higher. That doesn't really matter when the most important thing in the game is just not allowing runs. And, well, he doesn't allow runs. And that's what ERA tells us. And the nice thing is it's not just a low ERA, it's a low ERA with a lot of innings. A very good year for Max Fried. Now, the number 7 starting pitcher of the 2025 season was Logan Webb. Another pitcher where WAR and run value just cannot agree on how good he is. Now, we do have things like his whip being 1.2. His ERA was 3.2. Those probably are not the greatest factors, but he does have a lot of quantity. He pitched over 200 innings. He struck out so many hitters, and his FIP was 2.6, so his defense didn't really help him out. He got a little unlucky as well. I mean, that FIP was actually even lower than Tarik Skubal's, believe it or not. It's the 3rd lowest FIP on the list as well. Only Christopher Sanchez and Paul Skeens have a lower FIP than what Logan Webb did in the 2025 season. And Logan Webb was also tied for the league lead in quality starts. Now, the number 6 starter of the 2025 season was Hunter Brown of the Astros. 10 strikeouts per 9 innings shows a lot of dominance. He also had a 2.43 ERA. He has both solid WAR and solid run value, and 21 quality starts. So just a combination of consistency, dominance, longevity, all of those things really showing for Hunter Brown. Now, the number 5 starting pitcher of the 2025 season was Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Now, he only pitched 173 innings, so a little bit lower on the quantity of innings pitched. But to this point on this list, no other pitcher has had both a sub-3 ERA and a sub-3 FIP. Yamamoto is the first to do that. And Yamamoto was also tied for the National League lead in run value for pitchers. He also had a sub-1 whip. He doesn't walk many hitters, and over 200 strikeouts in just 173 innings. So, great year for Yamamoto. Now, the number 4 starting pitcher of the 2025 season was Christopher Sanchez of the Phillies. Over 200 innings, over 200 strikeouts, .1 WAR lower than Paul Skeens, .2 WAR lower than Tarik Skubal. Those are the two with the highest WAR in the league. He really challenges hitters. He doesn't walk many hitters at all. It does result in a 1.06 whip, but he doesn't give up any big hits, just .53 home runs per 9 innings, which is very solid. And obviously, doesn't give up many runs. And again, what else matters at that point? The number 3 starter of the 2025 season was Garrett Crochet. 11.18 strikeouts per 9 innings. That resulted in 255 strikeouts. That was the league leader. Absolutely unhittable. One of the nastiest pitchers in the entire league. 22 quality starts as well, which is tied for the league lead. He does get bit by some big hits, right? Gives up a decent amount of home runs. That does hurt him a little bit. But other than that, just absolutely dominant. Now, the number 2 starting pitcher of the 2025 season was Paul Skeens of the Pittsburgh Pirates. 1.97 ERA is crazy. He led the National League in WAR and of course tied with Yamamoto for run value. Preventing runs is the most important thing, and if that's the case, then who did it better than him? He also had a sub-1 whip, so just keeps guys off the base path in general. I think everybody knows Paul Skeens is an amazing pitcher. But the number 1 pitcher of the 2025 season was Tarik Skubal, just a bit more dominant than what Skeens was. He pitched 8 innings more than Skeens and had 25 more strikeouts. His whip was lowered at .89, and he also had .1 more WAR than what Skeens did, and significantly more run value according to Baseball Savant. Also walks less hitters, and had just a 2.21 ERA, which is still very elite, and that's what made him the best starting pitcher in the 2025 season. Now come back tomorrow for the top 10 relief pitchers of the year, and then we're going to turn around and start getting into our 2026 predictions.